Hello, everybody. I said hello, not hello. Then because I will no longer employ the uses thereof or use that particular greeting word. However, say that speaking correct, proper standard English grammar. The American dialect of some such qualities and quantities or not. Or so I say, regardless of whether or not that my person could possibly be butchering the English language. Oh, excuse me. Being of the American dialect or regardless of whether or not that my person am employing the uses thereof or using correct, proper, standard English grammar. And that same as our ancestors word being of the same of the said in question and of the form of previous prior mentioned. After having read this one particular pamphlet or leaflet, where the author of it was saying in more words or less that when a person greets another individual with that being of the greeting word of hello, whereas the root word, well, that is first of all, if I may say, yes. Let's backtrack here. Real purpose being on second going to probably continue for one when that my personality last level up so I can finish up as a completed form previous prior lines. I was just saying something. Well, the author was saying that when a person greets another individual with that being the greeting word of hello, that one is supposedly wishing a curse upon another or some such other person, being that because the root word of the greeting word of hello is that being which is to be translated to be defined as that whereas when one person greets another individual with the root that Prince P continue read on mind compared out Prince back to the typical confusion what I meant to say. Regardless of whether or not Navy from Hell could be at play, attempting to, be assisting as a pawn of the Prince of Darkness to conclude my speech, but then made a Prince Peace continue to regulate it. And whereas the author of this one leaflet or paddle was saying in more words or less that when a person greets another individual with that the greeting word of hello, that one is supposedly wishing some kind sort of type of curse upon another or some such other, being that because the root word of the greeting word of hello is that of hell, being of which is to be defined as translated meaning a place of torment is what I meant to say. You know. But then nevertheless I have substituted or replaced it with the greeting word of halo, and I will continue to employ the uses of or use that of some such other greeting words like say of hey and hi. How are y'all doing, everyone? Or of some such persons among yourself being of my social media family of subscribers and likewise any visitors to that being in my own personal social media channel, chat room, and or comment section. Well, hopefully everyone is doing at least okay, if not better yet to be said, to be feeling all right, if not best of all to be said, to be feeling blessed and stressed. More blessed and stressed, the two blessed possibly become or be stressed. You and yours, your family and friends, hopefully me and mine likewise, are all the same. You know. But then, regardless of whatsoever or whatever I can speak upon, be it a one or a couple few or four or more subject matters to be possibly considered, you know, or topics of discussions to be debated, or that given arguments with the many different views and or opinions to be affiliated, associated with, and representing thereof. But then don't kill the messenger. I'm just here to deliver. If I could possibly offend anybody, please. But all the while employing the uses of discretion, inform that my person. And of course, if you think to tell me otherwise, then it's not likely that I will be hearing what you're trying to say, and much rather instead I will say, talk to the hand, then because I'm not listening. I mean, you can catch more flies with honey than you can with vinegar. So heed the warning. All right. And because our life is too short to be possibly engaged in some of such negative drama any regard when I can get more than enough of this rather creepy and crazy proverbial neighbor from hell of a male character being the likes of dime a dozen public nuisances and problem neighbors, being of whom continue to not only violate their apartment rental leases, but then likewise attempt to disrespect the rights and privileges of their fellow neighbors, as some such give them on time. Okay. Yes, feel free to discuss matters with me and for my person if I could possibly offend anybody, and we will address the issue and resolve it hopefully like, you know, civilized persons. Otherwise, if you come to me like some kind of negative internet troll, then more than likely, more often than not, although I will try to be lenient with you and tolerate your nonsense as much as possible, all while knowing that I can get more than enough of my own if and when I were to play the part of devil's advocate, less to you than apply to some. And where the worst of the two evils is inner likes of those then of whom among themselves of closet devil worshippers who make up the majority of most churchgoers or whatever religious denominations. And whereas, if you come off like somebody then of whom could possibly prove yourself to have become or be not just quite but very much so offensive to me, then more than likely if you come off like one of some sort of such type, then I will from there, first of all, consider silencing your chat. And then, second of all, I will block you. And very few persons will be coming off like some sorts of such types of characters do I permit re-access to my own channel. You know, whereas the majority of most, they themselves are blocked permanently. You know, yeah, because it's bad enough that I have a flesh and blood brother that hates me like Cain killed Abel. So I don't need anybody joining the party of my haters, as if I'm a big YouTube celebrity, whereas I don't have, millions, I don't even have thousands of, you know, fans or subscribers as yet. You know, I have something like up under 100, you know, and little more than a dozen. Well, literally, actually, about a couple of dozen, subscribers, something like that, give or take the number. So don't come here attempting to rain on my parade, because that would defeat the reason and or purpose for my person having established this one particular social media channel. But then I have yet to get the hook up with that of Cam TV, you know, whereas I could transfer some of my YouTube videos to that of a social media channel I could possibly establish with them being the owners of that, for television. Anyway, though, how am I doing? Did anybody ask? Well, if you didn't, so I put forth the question out there and then get answered by saying, I guess I'm doing okay, regardless of how I myself had literally actually made like a hermit today. I didn't go anywhere. No, I didn't go anywhere. I just stayed in after having woke up late and partly due to a neighbor from hell caused me to wake up late to the weather's temps. And that's is what I wish to speak upon as of the present given moment in time. And whether or not I speak upon anything else, or if anything, I may speak upon a couple few other subject matters or topics of discussion to be debated or given arguments with the many different views and opinions to be associated with and represented thereof. No, if not more than that, being four or more other ones, the main that most I will speak I guess, that the weather temps. And whereas the weatherman and weatherwoman said that within the next couple few days, it is supposed to get down to something like 20 something, if not 30 something below zero, you know, in the wind chill factor for those kind of sub zero weather temps, you know. And I feel sorry for those homeless persons, you know. And then I'm one of those other persons who believe, compared to how some would tend to differ, that the majority of most homeless persons or derelict transients, they're not that way by happenstance or by struck or bad luck, but they are that way being because that's the way they want to be. You know, they want to drink up and smoke up the rent money. And what do you expect when rent day comes around and you be wishing that you could chill in a place rather than of your own, but you don't have the money because you had done away with it in some sort of other kind of way. What do you expect? You know, when the landlord tells you, "I'm sorry, but I gotta have my money," you know, unless you can come up with my money, you gotta hit the streets. You know, hit the road, Jack. Bum, 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 you know what I'm saying? And that just remind me how it's bad enough that this one particular being of my present proverbial neighbor from hell of a male character is not only attempting to drive me, man, I myself, that of my person, completely bonkers, but then likewise, as well, all the same, he himself is attempting to drive me out of house and home. And in correlation or in conjunction to how I have a housing inspection appointment scheduled for that being the person by myself and a me, yours truly, for sometime this month, you know, and I have to really do all that. I would have to, but I pretty much so got everything covered. Just doing a little touch up here and there for my place of residence, so that I won't be giving my walking papers as well be kicked to the curb. Because I'm going to tell you, I mean, that homeless lifestyle is not a walk in the park. Well, at times it literally actually is a walk in the park, but you know what I mean to say. Or to use a better cliche or phrase or words, it's not a picnic. It's no fun being homeless. And as some of my police friends was telling me in times past, you do know, friend, that if you become or be homeless, that you're like to get picked upon that much more than if you had your own place of residence once again. Yeah, ain't it the truth? I remember time back during some season, a homeless brother, a homeless person didn't make a bed and shower list, or rather, say shower and bed list. Because first of all, you have to make the shower list and then near the bed list. And because he missed out on getting to the rescue mission men's shelter in time, he had to sleep out on a bench. It was much too late to call the Department of Human Services so that they could investigate matters, research another rescue mission men's shelter he himself can or could possibly go to, or as in be transported to via that public services automobile or motor vehicle. So therefore, he just slept on a bench in a park. This was back in the day, way back in the day. You can't do it now because no telling what could possibly happen to you from there. Anyway, he slept on a bench to a park, and then from there, you know, some young punks caught him by himself, took a BB gun, semi-automatic rifle, and shot him in the eye with it. And he had to be transported to a local vicinity area neighborhood community hospital. You know, from there. Wow, isn't that something to have to think about? Yeah. Oh God, this one TV show that I hate come on just now. I mean, well, I don't actually hate it. I mean, well, I don't like it too much either. You know, I kind of like it, I kind of don't like it. Well, I know I don't love it. And for the one in the background, called by its main title of the Goldbergs, it'll be about a Jewish family. I like it, you know, just as less as I like Blackish, because just as the Blackish TV show comedy does not represent that being of the average black family, it don't matter, um, poor or middle class. So this you know comedy of the Goldbergs does not represent the average Jewish family, white Jewish family. Hold that thought, you all. Let me turn this. Oh, I hate this show. Yeah, but then you all could still hear me. You know, it would come on as I'm broadcasting. In other words, when I said I don't like it, to me it sucks. You know. Yeah, but oh, and I think Blackish is on at the same time the Goldbergs is on. Yeah, they probably got Spanish title. They can have Spanish title. Oh, no, this is English. I was trying to check out this movie called The Counselor. It's on now. You know, the other day, called it The Last. Oh, it's gonna come on now. Okay. Huh. Yeah, I wanted to watch it again. Come on check it out. What it's about. It's about well, that is in its entirety, more or less, compared to how I just caught the last of it. It's about a some kind of licensed pharmacist who decides to play both fields. You know, he goes by his day job of filling prescription orders for customers of a pharmacy business store trying to get their prescriptions, medical prescriptions filled. Pay a visit to such and such. Then of his clientele, those who patronize business establishment is that thing. And then whereas on his off hours, like say during some or such other time that he can moonlight as some or such other. Whereas one minute he's a licensed pharmacist, the next minute he's a unlicensed drug pusher, dope dealer, trying to get into the game otherwise, trying to step up to the game, become some kind of unlicensed drug cartel lord, and it causes him a lot of problems eventually. You know how that is. Can't sit at the table with angels and demons at the same time, you know, as the saying goes. You know, either you're in or out. Either you trying to be 100 or you trying to, listen to both God and the devil, or, you know, angels and demons. And, it don't work like that. As the last book of the good book would say, for the book of Revelations, how that God as he was saying to the church, you know, I wish that you were either cold or hot, but then because you are lukewarm, I will spew you out of my mouth. And as our Lord and Savior Christ, Messiah and Deliverer, will be making reference to those being of the likes of, the false brethren, religious church hypocrites, wolves in sheep's clothing, snakes and grass of modern day religious Pharisees and Sadducees, being the worst of two evils, and as they would likewise be among themselves those to be possibly considered being of the worstest kind, sort of type of devil worshippers, being of whom make up the majority of most churchgoers of whatsoever or whatever religious denomination proves to the pulpit. And so, therefore, it would go without saying to go double or triple to be said when the likes are those, prosperity preachers or televangelists, you know. And I be hating on them. I mean, let me phrase that. I mean, of all the religious church hypocrites, they are the ones that are of those persons, interests or characters, being of whom I myself not only much more, but mostly or mainly despise, as they play with God's word, and therefore play with other person's lives, as they be killing from their different religious denomination church pulpits, not saving lives, but destroying and killing lives. Destroying lives and killing other people, a person with their bogus, blasphemous religious messages. And speaking upon that, now it comes to mind. Anyway, though, getting back to some such other, and I see this. First of all, let me interject. Somebody has popped up in my comment section. Let me type a little something here. Please do not come in here attempting. Sorry about that, my typing is not working. Attempting to confuse that being my or my own immediate personal social media channel, chat room, and or comments section, or that being of your own personal dumping grounds, your own personal dumping grounds to attempt to likewise spread a whole lot of negative nonsense. Let's see here. Please do not come in here attempting to confuse that being of my own immediate personal social media channel, chat room, and a comment section, but that being on your own personal dumping grounds to attempt to likewise spread a whole lot of negative nonsense, being which could possibly and or likewise would probably constitute that being which is to be recognized as that being any spam, as I myself am not having it. So therefore, excuse my language and or pardon my French, or whatever or however said, and I am not buying it coming from any negative internet trolls. And so get the damn hell out of here if you yourself are or is one of the lice that those or their kind and excuse or pardon me or possibly butchering the English language. Being of the American dialect. Being of the American dialect is all that being a white person and apologizing for. I mean, I would just simply say, get the out with that, but then permit me to rephrase that by saying simply get the effing at the effing damn hell. Let's see, get the effing damn hell out of here with all of that other, as I myself am not having it. And especially seeing how I am that of my person, believe it or not, and trying to get right with God as a believer in our Lord and Savior, the Christ, the Messiah, Deliverer, the Prince of Peace, the Lord of Lords, the King of Kings. And I don't need anybody possibly reminding me of some kind, sort, or type of a homoish or homo or faggoty or closet faggot of a proverbial neighbor from damn hell nigger or nigger cocksucker attempting to rain upon my parade. as a social media as a social media participant, with that being my own social media channel, chat room, and or comments section. And I apologize to everyone else for a great moment of time being spent in this present social media. This present social media broadcast or video addressing some or such person being of whom had popped up into my social media chat room and or comments section, appearing to be nothing much more than just another internet troll. Spewing some or such spam once again and taking up possibly some or such rather precious time, whereas I could possibly address some or such other issue. And even before I had completed that last sentence, that last sentence, whereas it appears that another one has or had popped up into my chat and or comment section. So therefore, I say sorry about that, you all. But then eventually, I will silence their chats. I will silence their chats, and then likewise block, and likewise block them once I myself find that being some or such more convenient time available, possibly so. And therefore, just try to bear with their unwelcome intrusion. If you If intrusion, if you all please appreciate it, and I will compensate you all in some or of such persons otherwise in due time for a great amount of your time having possibly been wasted because of these here interruptions as of the present given moment in time or for whatsoever or whatever these negative disruptions of my or or my own personal own personal social media podcast. Thank you. Hold it, target. Update on television set. Sorry about that as well. Oh, and I just hate it when internet trolls do that. You all, you know, comment here, even if they're not leaving their sly remarks otherwise or comments or whatever it is to be called, but then they want to leave these here acronyms for some bogus social media website addresses otherwise to attempt to discredit my own social media channel, chat room, and a comment section as if I am supposedly helping to support that being their garbage, their own garbage to be compared on to others of the likes of their kind. Not that I am one of the likes, Sorry about that, you all. I hate it when other persons come in here as visitors and they leave these here comments of letters, that it's not, you know, conveying a line of thought, but it's for some or such other, if you know what I mean. Read between the lines, fill in the blanks, and want you to, that it's download some or sudden to be something ever so bogus. You don't know what kind of hot water you could get into, tapping into some or such. As far as you know, it could be like some kind of social media website of spam that they introduce to your own social media channel that could be of the likes of kitty porn. And I'm not for that. And I will block their that I will first of all silence the chat and block them as the final alternative option once I would have the available means or time to do so. So I just in the meantime have to apologize to any of my visitors otherwise, who would not think of it when it matters attention to disrespect my own social media channel as certain other visitors would think to do. And as this person keeps doing that, you know, as being one of a couple few others. So doing that of this here, can you? I would appreciate it. Either let me know what you want, or else just simply get off my channel. Likewise get out of my chat room and or comment section. Or otherwise, in the meantime, I will just simply ignore you until I were to be able to finally silence your chat and then block you and whosoever or whoever else for that matter. Disrespecting. Alright. Channel. And or chat section. Get lost. Dinosaur. Oh, dinosaur turd is not what you to think about getting life and likewise getting God into your life. Other words, in other words, buzz off if you please. Anyway, though, you all getting back to some of such other. Well, I was so rudely interrupted by internet troll. Another one going for spam. And where was I last? Well, anyway, though, I know I was speaking about the weather temps, and I pretty much so stayed in all day today. It's one of the rare moments that I didn't go anywhere. After just the other day, I went to this one business store establishment to make a purchase of, as in buy for myself another cell phone. You know, I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, I fear God more than man, but it's always wise to have a spare or a second cell phone as backup with these crazy times that we're living in. Uh, you know, proverbial neighbors from hell, or public nuisance of problem neighbors, the likes of characters from making, as they do, different kinds, sorts, or types of extreme and excessive noises found on a daily and nightly basis, especially within the late evening hours, to making like midnight cowboys, or from making like midnight cowboys to spooks to sit by the door. Wanted to find out that you have to be involved with some characters like the other kind outside in the streets. So I went to this place of business to make a purchase of, as in buy for myself another cell phone, because although I'm a believer in God, I would usually try to hold down as and possess two cell phones of my own personal effects, belongings, or possessions, because I would feel quite uncomfortable to just have one. And since the last time I had two cell phones, well, up until sometime, today, most recently I was just packing one, but now I got two once again, you know, just in case an emergency should develop, life-threatening crisis, be it here within the building where I myself am a paying resident or tenant, or be I elsewhere out in the street somewhere, especially with these crazy weather temps being as it is. But then I'm about to close shop. You know, Sorry about the waste of time for a great part of this here particular present social media broadcast of video. No, not in regard to I myself, but in reference to some of such others interrupting it, coming into my chat room in the comment section, coming off like internet trolls, which that could possibly have become a waste of you all's time as well. So I apologize to y'all for that. But then, as I would speak upon a subject matter, type of discussion, or cover a few or four for the matter, then from there, I will get to give them the closing. But first and foremost, I will give the greeting, quite naturally, before I were to speak upon anything, and then come to a conclusion of a social media broadcast. And with this slight interjection, I went to this one place business of a phone company. Two characters popped in there like within the first minute that I had done so did, and I get to think about pickpockets and purse snatchers, as well as stalkers that the likes could possibly be moonlighting as. But anyway, to wrap things up, I'd like to say to you all, in due time, or as I try to think of it with my intention to do so now, and that is by saying, if you haven't gotten, so I paraphrase, not quote exactly as I would usually give the greeting, then I will speak upon a certain matter, a couple, few, or four more, depending on how I feel like some given moment of time. Then I will give the closing. And by saying, in more words, less. If you have not gotten Christ as your personal Lord and Savior, I would hope that you would think to do so now, while the blood is still running warm in your veins, but recognize and realize what He Himself had done upon the cross of Calvary, giving His life, suffering at the hands of Roman soldiers upon the orders of their superior religion, otherwise, rest and necessity, centurions and seasons, but nevertheless, He went to the cross of Calvary. Become that perfect sacrifice, the only sacrifice for you as well as for me to fulfill biblical prophecy, so that if anybody, regardless of race, walk of life, gender, and etc., representing not only human species but the global community who could profess faith in them, from there we become blessed in one regard or another. Always one. First and foremost, with His salvation, being of which is the only means by which we can or could probably become citizens of the kingdom of heaven. Then second of all, with His deliverance. But first, you have got to accept Him as your personal Lord and Savior. Otherwise, you have no blessings coming your way, and your final destination will be the lake of fire, damn hell, to suffer with the rest of the unsaved, unbelieving, unbelievers, to be tortured and terrorized by the devil and his demons forever. Compared to how we as believers in God will be across that great divide that separates heaven from hell, in the presence of like-minded believers, of Protestants, of Christians, and in the company of God and His angels, otherwise, across that great divide that separates heaven from hell. You all take care and be safe. Be blessed, not stressed. Peace, love, joy, happiness. I'll get back with y'all all later.